Yo, yo, it's the power hour where the bruisers eat. No finesse, no flukes, just backs that punish. Fantasy gold in the mud, let's eat. Yo, welcome to the power hour.
Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Football Power Hour. With me, as always, Muscles, Ryan Mail. What's going on, Mus?
Not a whole lot. What's happening tonight?
Well, ready for week 4, man. It's coming up here. We got 3 in the book. It's kind of crazy that it's already gone by this fast. And let's get you on here. We want to talk a little bit of risers and fallers, a little bit of injury news that we have coming up here, and kind of got some good news for the Bucks. Finally, somebody coming back, and Chris Godwin. We'll go over that. And Emeka Egbuka's looked really well, and we got a little new segment, some power up buys and sells of the week. So really excited to get into that, and then we'll end the show with a couple of trades that we had from listeners. So we'll kind of dissect and go over all of that, Muscles. But what were you up to today? What was going on today in Muscles land?
Pretty rainy day, honestly. Just kind of hung out, watched some Netflix. Honestly, I didn't do a whole lot. I got some laundry done. That was about it. I should have came into work.
It's always good to make money, but it's good to take some time to yourself too. I definitely get that, man. But yeah, kind of same here. Just a rainy day in PA, so which we need it. We definitely need it. So.
Yeah, we do.
But let's go ahead. Let's jump into some of these injuries here, Muscles. We had a couple ex-Steelers running backs who are near and dear to our hearts. Najee Harris tears his Achilles. Obviously, Amari and Hampton, he kind of had a little bit of breakout after that. 120 total yards, 6 receptions. Muscles, how do you feel about Najee? I know this is not good news. This is something that, like, it just sucks as a football player. Najee's had a very clean bill of health throughout his whole career. He had this unfortunate eye injury, and now somebody that I feel like was really fighting kind of for a starting gig, tears his ACL, or not his Achilles, and it's just kind of hard to come back. We've really only ever seen J.K. Dobbins really kind of come back from this. Do you have any hope for Najee?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so for him. I mean, this is heartbreaking for him, as a person. He always seemed like, when he was with the Steelers, I always kind of liked him. He seemed like a likable guy, never really caused any drama or anything really. And, and like you said, he went to the Chargers kind of fighting for a spot, and then they draft Hampton, and that was kind of like, oh man, poor Najee. And then had the eye injury, and we didn't even know if he had an eye for a while, and then he came back on the field, and now he's got a Achilles injury. So he's still relatively young. What is he, 24, 25? I
think he's 26.
26, okay. Yeah. So yeah, but I think he comes back. I mean, whether he is anything, I don't know. Be curious to see what his prices are down the road,
Yeah. I think eventually you could. I don't know, man. I think even right now, it might be like 3rd, 4th round pick.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if I'd even be willing to go up a 3rd. Here's my thing. Like I sold a lot of Najee Harris before he signed with the Chargers. Or no, whenever he signed with the Chargers for a 2nd. And that got me a lot of Cam Skattebo, Byshell Tootin, some players like that. So it's like an injury like this, does it only go down 1 round? I don't know. But his game, what I will say, I feel like his game is more of like non-explosive,
Yeah.
So, Jeff, do you give out any blue chips for audience participation? I keep my blue chips near and dear to my heart. So
Me too.
Thank you to the 247. I love being recognized. So. Little inside joke, but
yep.
Yeah, I just feel like, maybe with his career, we'll just kind of see him as like a rumbler that hopefully just has something. I hope for his sake, but as a betting man, as me giving advice to listeners, I don't have a lot of hope for fantasy football.
No, I'm with you. Like, I mean, like later on down the road, like a 4th, I'd gamble that, but
yeah, something like that. But next bit of news, James Conner, I believe it's a right ankle / foot injury that was pretty gruesome. I didn't see it, but I don't know if you've seen it, Muscles, but
I did not.
kind of like, I don't even think the game was over. Like, yeah, he's out for the year. So for us, a big riser who definitely, I know I have a lot of shares of, is Trey Benson. So averaging right around 6 yards per carry so far. Is going to get the bulk of the work here. How do you feel about Trey Benson?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely Trey Benson's time to shine. I mean, we kind of talked about Trey Benson in the beginning of the year. I didn't really know what to think of him. Obviously, Connor's been staying healthy. Unfortunately, now he did that, but he's been staying healthy the past couple years, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know if he really gets a shot until next year. Then maybe they draft somebody else, but. Now with Connor going down, we know Trey Benson's got the big play potential. Arizona needs something.
Yeah.
I mean, and this could be the shot in the arm that they need.
Yeah, they definitely do it. And it seems like their run game's been pretty successful. They're having trouble passing the ball. So
yes,
Trey Benson's somebody I feel very good about. So I've offered a lot of second and thirds to see if I could get him. Not having any luck. I did throw out a first in a league, and kind of more of a savvy league. Shout out to the Perfect Dynasty League. Mouse, you're in that one as well. But
yeah,
I sent out that offer, and he was like, "Yeah, I just kind of want to see what I have." Don't blame him at all. And I said, "How about a first?" He's like, "I just kind of want to see," and I agree, but I just don't know if I can give up much more than a first. But I definitely think he's worth a late first. I mean, if you're a true blue contender, like I'm 3-0 in this league, I maybe would give up the second two because it's going to be a later round. I just think the hit rates on seconds are still kind of a gamble as well, And you probably drafted Trey Benson. I can't remember if he went in the first that year.
He was like a second-ish. Yeah. I got him a lot in the second.
I thought he was kind of like that mid, like border. Back end first, early second. So, I mean, you kind of want to either cash out or make a little bit. And he's going to have a good opportunity here. So, somebody I am heavily pursuing. And if you're a true blue contender, somebody that I would really, really consider giving up my late 26 first.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
You're on board with that then as well?
Yeah. I think you're going to have to. I don't think a second definitely gets it done. So
no, I don't either. And it hasn't. I just wanted to kind of see if it did, and it definitely. Yeah, I think it's always good because sometimes like my little things too, especially in more like kind of savvy leagues, is I'll offer a second or a second and a third, and maybe they counter with a first. Like, well, I was willing to pay a first because sometimes if you offer a first right away, try to get a third, or you know what I mean, just try to kind of get a little more on top, which don't blame you. Like if you want them that bad, you're going to give up a third, right? You're going to go a third, no problem. So something that I personally kind of do, and it don't always work. But next guy here, Mike Evans, dealing with a hamstring injury. We know Emeka Egbuka's already looked really, really good, 22% target share. Just really good with the ball in his hands. He's been looking really good in the red zone. 3 or 4 touchdowns? Like what we've seen on film looks like it's already translating to the NFL very, very fast. And we've seen this with multiple receivers as of late, like not just elite guys like Malik Neighbors and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, but guys like Ladd McConkey who don't have elite profiles, but very good route runners, very good at creating separation. I think that's something that Emeka Egbuka does well too. So, Muscles, my question is, who all benefits from this besides Emeka Egbuka? Like, I definitely think the ceiling is much higher for Egbuka now. Yeah. But who else benefits on this Buccaneers offense in your eyes?
I would say probably Cade Otton. Probably Bucky a little bit. I mean, obviously more target share. Honestly, if I'm a true blue contender, and this might sound maybe a little crazy for right now, I think I'm going out and trying to buy Mike Evans. Because if you remember last year, he got his 1,000 yards on the very last play.
Mm-hmm.
But you know damn well that organization they love that stat of him getting 1,000 yards. And if he can get on the field
They
in
do.
2 weeks, I feel like they are just going to force feed the hell out of him.
Good point.
Because so I mean, this might benefit, like I said, this could be crazy, and he might not get it. But I think I think he's off to a semi good start, but I don't think he's on pace for it or anything. But like I said, come the end of the year, if he's close and they think there's a chance, I think they're going to force feed the hell out of him.
They definitely could. I mean, he's really held up throughout his years. What's that 1,000-yard stat? What is it? Every year so far since
Every
yeah,
year.
yeah, since 2014. That's an
Yeah,
unbelievable stat. This is
it
going into year
definitely is.
11.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Mike Evans later as well, Muscles. So
Okay.
something that we'll talk about. But yeah, I think Cade Otton's very sneaky. He's off to a very, very slow start, and
He is.
Chris Godwin's back full in practice. So very good news for the Buccaneers. But here's the thing. I think Sterling Shepard's still going to get his. Obviously,
Yeah.
Emeka Ibuka. Let's see how they utilize Ibuka. But I think Cade Otton in the red zone's very, very sneaky. We could see a couple big games out of Otton once again. But, I think this whole Chris Godwin's going to be a bit of a slow play. So,
Yes.
if you want to buy Godwin, now is probably not the time because people are like, oh, yeah, he's finally back. But when he comes out and he's on the field for 50% of snaps for a couple weeks and he's getting you 6 points, couple catches, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, he's washed. He's not going to recover from this ankle injury. But, they gave him all this money. And I think rumor had it, Muscles. I don't know. Maybe you're the one that said this. Did he turn down a good amount of money somewhere else to stay with Tampa Bay?
Yes, he did. I can't remember the team or the terms, but I do remember reading that he turned down more money to stay.
And he was off to a crazy hot start last year. Remember, he was wide receiver 1.
He was wide receiver 1. Yeah.
Let me look at his points per game. It was crazy high.
Because they moved him to the slot. I remember that.
Yeah, so it's not coming up. But I know his points per game was right around 20, I believe. So, just really, really tore it up. Hopefully for him, I think it's going to be a little bit of a tough year for him. Try to get back. I mean, we even seen this. Guys like Mark Andrews, for good or better, was it just the injury? He was in that automobile accident and stuff, and Isaiah Likely really came on, and it could be the same thing with Chris Godwin, and he's very, very frustrating. And if you're trying to decide to put him in your lineup this week, I would not. We'll just I'll throw that out there. Not trusting him yet. Give it a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, if I got Chris Godwin, I'm pretty much not planning on playing him pretty much all year unless he shows me something. But it's just I just don't think this is his year. I think this will be a recovery year. We see it with all kinds of players and injuries.
Yeah. Yep. And then on the counterpart of that, you don't want to sell them, but because obviously we still believe in them. But if you are competing, maybe there's a couple guys that you do want to sell them to a rebuilder who is not competing that doesn't really need the points. Maybe that's something you can kind of take advantage of, and they take advantage of. That's what I think. It's just the art of a good trade, right? Somebody that helps both teams.
Yeah.
Because I got called at work. Never trading with you again because I traded him Najee Harris Adam for a second. He said I'm the trade devil, so he's never trading with me again. Bro, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But the next guy here we need to talk about, CeeDee Lamb, Muscles, has the high ankle sprain. Watching the replay, I was actually a little bit concerned. I'm like, damn. And then I kind of got a sense, a sigh of relief whenever we seen CeeDee Lamb on the sidelines actually walking around. Now, I know he didn't come back in the game, but a little bit worried for a little bit. So who benefits from this? I think first name we need to talk about Jake Ferguson.
No.
We brought this up at work to each other. We're like, oh, did you know he's tight end 1?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that. I'm in a league where I'm 0-3 and rebuilder or whatever, and somebody put in the chat looking for a tight end or a running back, and I was like, oh, let me see what yeah, let me see what Jake Ferguson is. And I looked and he's tight end 1. And I was like, holy shit. So I walked right up to you. I was like, did you know Jake Ferguson's tight end 1 on the year? But yeah, he's had a few
Yeah.
good weeks. I
Yeah.
think definitely he benefits. Dak Prescott's just off to a very, very slow start. I mean, I thought this was going to be Dak's year, George Pickens, Dak, Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
Obviously their best running back they brought in was Javonte Williams. I love Javonte, but
Woo!
I was like, this is like just all the makings of they're just gonna have Dak just sling the ball all over the field. But
bad defense.
Yeah, bad defense. But yeah, he's only quarterback 18 on the year. I know before last week he was like quarterback 23 or something like that. So he's off to a slow start.
Yeah, he is. It is a Kyle Larson.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We got it the high limit series. I got a shirt, which unfortunately I don't think is going to be big enough for me, but need to get a Cy Lynch hat, Muss.
I know. I do. I do.
But not to get too off the topic here, but yeah, I think the whole Dallas offense just kind of looked off without CD Lamb muscles. Like it just, I feel like George Pickens, and I think he can be an alpha. I think they need to change the game plan. You know what I mean? Maybe that was just because it was Chicago, CD Lamb's out. Now we got to change this game plan. And, Jake Ferguson has always been Dak's like safety, like his little like comfy blanket guy,
Yep.
Like when a toddler has their blanket, that is Jake Ferguson to Dak Prescott. And and then they pay him, and we were all kind of surprised about them paying Jake Ferguson, but it all kind of makes sense. So, I mean, George Pickens is playing fine. Don't get me wrong, but let's see how long CD's out. I see, Twitter doctors, everybody can say what they want. It's going to be really hard to tell.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing like 2 to 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then if he needs to take more than 2, take more than 2. They need him back. The defense is bad. Like, it's just, I think Devontae Turpin, he's been a hot name. We'll kind of see. He's very good in space. So maybe they can scheme up for him. But I think Javonte Williams is a winner out of this, Muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he does more in the pass game. I think he had, 6 targets against the Bears?
I was going to say, from the little I watched, it seemed like they were trying to get him more involved in the passing game, which is great. First couple weeks, I don't think he was that involved. I could be wrong on that, but like from what I can remember, he wasn't that involved. But he's definitely definitely had a better year than I thought he was going to have. And I mean, I'm the president of the Javonte Williams fan club, but
well, Jaden Blue was a healthy scratch, and I mean, maybe they try to use him a little bit more. He's kind of a hot commodity name, throughout the offseason. Maybe they can get him in space. I know we weren't as high on Jaden Blue. We just said, well, if it works out, we'll let him beat us. Yeah. I have no Jaden Blue, but it would make a little bit of sense to try to get somebody fast and good in space on the field. So I think that's, a name maybe to watch out for, not necessarily saying to buy him, because people have been waiting, like especially if you have conviction on a player, you're just waiting to see his name on there, not as a healthy scratch. So,
yep.
Tyrone Tracy. What happened with Tyrone Tracy? Was that an ankle, I believe?
I believe so. I can look it up real quick, but
yeah, I think so too. But either way, we're seeing Cam Skattebo, man. This is somebody that we kind of called as well. Like we were a little shoulder. Okay.
Dislocated shoulder. You're going to be out 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay. So, but I think the writing was kind of on the wall, in my opinion. We were already kind of starting to see Cam Skattebo kind of make a name for himself, not necessarily take over, but so against the Chiefs, he looked really good. And this is, somebody that I said, I think he's probably a mid to back end running back 2 this week against the Chiefs. A little bit worried. Andrew Thomas, limited snaps. But he comes out and proves me wrong. I mean, he's catching all kinds of passes. I think this is something that a lot of dynasty players kind of felt like, hey, Tyrone Tracy's this amazing. He's an ex-receiver. He's amazing receiving back. And not take anything away from Tyrone Tracy. He's a good receiving back. So is Cam Skattebo, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he can get it done in the red zone. I just think he's really strong with that contact bounce. I know grading him in the class, like he had such a high contact bounce score for me. And how do you feel about Cam Scattaboo going forward, Muscles?
We both, I think, loved Cam Scattaboo and the in the draft process and everything like that. And Giants landing spot was a little scary, but it seems like they're going to get him involved. I thought this was just a matter of time before Tyrone Tracy's kind of the forgotten guy. And unfortunately, I think this injury kind of puts a nail in the coffin. I think this is Scattaboo's job to lose now. Obviously,
Yeah.
this is the wrong time to buy, though. I mean, his hype's through the ceiling. I mean, I agree with you. I think he's going to be like a running back too. I don't think we're going to get. I mean, the hype on this guy's like top 10 running back, kind of by the sounds of it. But
You think?
I from what I'm seeing, I think the hype's like off the rails. But I just think he's. I don't know. I just don't see him that high personally.
No, I think he's going to be a solid running back too.
I do too.
I mean, what I don't. Same time though, like his pass catching upside. Maybe I'm living on a pipe dream. But like his pass catching upside, something that I really look forward to. So, yeah, we'll kind of see. Teixeira says the NFC North guys. I'd like to know how much are you investing in any of those offenses, and which players are you targeting in that division after the first 3 weeks of production this season to acquire to get you to upgrade your lineups this week? So Muscles, anybody for you here?
Let me think. I mean, obviously David Montgomery had a great week.
Yeah, he did.
What is it? Sonic and Knuckles. I never heard that before for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I never heard that.
That was a big thing last year. I loved it because I just watched Sonic 2 Sonic 3 last year. I think that's when it came out. So yeah.
I didn't know they called themselves that. For some reason, that was the first time hearing that. So, let me think. Vikings. Oh, the Vikings are kind of a shit show right now.
Yeah, kind of. There's somebody that I know you're going to mention later on that might play for. He might be a tight end in this division.
Yeah.
Definitely investing in him.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him a little bit later, but I think other than that, it's hard to buy Caleb and Rome. At their cost. Like, of course, we'll talk about them here coming up. Vikings. I mean, I know J.J. McCarthy kind of had his struggles. He looked good against the Bears, but I don't know, man. Like, I still think O'Connell will get through to him. Like, I don't know. I guess I kind of still have like that love for J.J. McCarthy, who I didn't absolutely love the film, but like, if they can get this guy gone, he puts up Sam Darnold numbers eventually. Like, at his age, dude, he's gonna be top 8.
Yeah, because he's a younger guy coming out, isn't he? 21.
I believe so. I believe he's a junior.
I believe so too.
But like, we'll talk about Atlanta. It's basically impossible. I mean, maybe Drake London. Like maybe you can buy a little bit lower on Drake London, but like.
No, he's 22. McCarthy is 22. So yeah, that's
22.
He is pretty young.
I'm all about Drake London still, but like it's going to be a roller coaster with Michael Penix, which we'll talk about him in a little bit. So
that's not NFC. Is that NFC North?
Oh, no. That's South.
Yeah.
Why am I saying Atlanta?
Yeah, you're good.
Minnesota.
Minnesota Lions, Bears, and Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay outside of that one guy, I don't. It's hard to buy these guys. Like you said, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze. Yeah, we love them guys. We love Amon-Ra. You can't buy Amon-Ra. You can't buy Gibbs.
Yeah, it's hard to buy any of the Detroit. You're paying a premium price. I mean, even for Sam Laporta, that like you're paying the premium price for a tight end who's good. Sam Laporta is really good, but look what you got to pay for JMO. Like I don't know. It's just hard to invest in them guys personally. What about Jordan Mason? Jordan Mason's been pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's probably would be my second.
The only problem is coming off a big week like that, you're probably you're not getting him for a second. Like you probably have to go that
No.
late first, and he's another guy that's on the list to talk about. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of sums it up. That's a tough division to buy into because you're paying a premium on two offenses in the Lions and
Yeah.
the Bears.
4
And
good
then,
teams.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And if McCarthy can get it going.
Yeah.
So let's go into a little bit of risers and fallers, and we'll stay right there. You're starting off in that division, and Caleb Williams. So he's tied second right now, 7 touchdown passes. He's quarterback 2 right now for fantasy. I thought he looked really good last week. He's just under 100 rushing yards, so it's nice to kind of see that, get him going on the ground. It just kind of seemed like the offense finally started to click. And I know it's Dallas. I know the
I
defense
was
is
just
bad.
gonna say that Russell Wilson had his career high against his defense.
Right. And
Let's
I
see.
know
Let's see it
I
one more week.
let's see it one more week. But here's the thing, though, man. The spotlight was on him, right? Because I even said this. He should play good. But if he doesn't, then what
Yeah.
happens? But he stepped up, rose to the occasion, did a really good job. I think he did a good job taking care of the ball as well. Here's my thing, though, with Caleb Williams. Is he Lamar Jackson? Is he Josh Allen? Like, remember how we said he could possibly be the dynasty quarterback one? I don't think so. I just don't think that's going to be in his cards. Now, it absolutely could be eventually, right? But like, I think his ceiling's probably more of that Herbert Burrow tier, which I think he's probably just right outside of right now.
Yeah.
So I obviously, like you said, it's hard to buy Caleb. I mean, I got one for you, Muscles. If you're competing, all right, you
Okay.
have Joe Burrow in a super flex league, and you have a good shot to win here. Would you trade Joe Burrow, who's on IR, is going to be out pretty much all year, for Caleb Williams?
Honestly, I think I probably would. I mean, listen, when Joe Burrow's healthy, I think Joe Burrow's obviously got the higher ceiling tied with Chase and Higgins and all that. But I mean, we've seen it for how many years now? They will not invest in that line. They will not get that line right. So we see these injuries pop up, and eventually, injuries start to stack. Like, does he turn into like an Andrew Luck? I don't think so, but like, I don't know. So yeah, I think I probably would.
Yeah, I think I'm there too. And I mean, you're getting a younger prospect that I feel like that it is probably his ceiling, though. Like I said, probably his ceiling, but I I think he kind of provides that safe rushing floor. And that's
Yeah.
why I was still kind of in on Jaden Daniels, because we always see these guys year 2 somewhat take a step back, which really Caleb, is kind of taking a bit of a step forward. Jaden is taking a step back. But when you have the rushing upside, that kind of really helps open things up and get
Yeah.
creative with the offense. So
Yeah, Burrow has no rushing upside. So
no, he's just gunslinging it, and he's great at it. Don't get me
he
wrong.
is.
I love Joe Burrow, but yeah, you made a lot of very valid points with the line and everything like that. So yeah, I'm there too, Moss and Teixeira. Thanks for tuning in, man, and throwing out some of these questions. We worried about Jefferson's production until McCarthy gets back. I think a panic meter. I think it's probably like a valid. I don't know. I think it's probably like a valid 6.5 for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because Justin Jefferson's capable of taking a slant all the way. Like, he's not somebody that just lives down the field. And for Dynasty, it's a complete 0, just because it's a marathon, not sprint. For like seasonal leagues, DFS, everything like that. I mean, I don't know. You still might get some low ownership in DFS. So like, if everybody's out on him, I'm definitely playing him because I know what he's capable of. I actually played a lot of Jefferson, and it bit me in the ass, but a lot of Jefferson chase stacks this week, like just going back and forth, thinking that maybe they would each take over the game. But I knew it'd be low ownership, and it's possible. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like the top tier receivers this year they've all taken big hits. I mean, Jamar Chase losing Burrow, and Justin Jefferson's having his quarterback issues, and then now CD.
Yep.
That wide receiver one's going to be up for grabs here, I think.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, we're going to see Malik Neighbors now with with
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. You know, a little bit of other breaking news that we didn't cover in the injury report. But yeah, it's kind of see what happens there. Even with Cam Scatterbo, like, is Jackson Dart really gonna check down as much? I mean, I don't know. Russell Wilson kind of just always does. Seems like a lot of older quarterbacks do. So Jackson Dart getting the call to start this week against the Chargers on the road. How do you feel he's going to do in this first start with that offense against the defense? It could be a tough go, man.
Yeah, that's tough defense.
Yeah, it could definitely be a tough go for him. I mean, I wouldn't expect a ton out of him. I think defense is gonna game plan around Malik Neighbors, of course. So hopefully Wan'Dale Robinson kind of get it going, and if Cam Scatterbo can get it going, maybe that does open up Malik Neighbors. But Malik Neighbors can beat double coverage as well too. So it could even be just try to really target Malik, try to scheme him open, get him on linebackers, put them in motion a lot, and kind of see how creative they get. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tough go. I wouldn't start him in Superflex. You got to kind of wait and see.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. If I have him, I'm not starting him this week unless you have to. I mean,
yeah, if you have to. Even at that though, sometimes in Superflex, like I even put a receiver there.
Yeah, exactly.
If he ends up getting you 10 points, that's nothing for a lot of receivers to get.
Yeah, I believe in one league, I think I'm starting Cortland Sutton over him. So it's like that's.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like just start a position player, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. But next guy on the list here is a big riser throughout these first 3 weeks. Daniel Jones. He's third in passing yards, and this is something the ex-Giant Daniel Jones really struggled with, was passing yards. He kind of made that living on the ground, but he's thrown for 3 passing touchdowns and ran for 3 more, and he's taking care of the ball. No interceptions. He's quarterback 4 right now. Can he sustain even quarterback 1 numbers this year, Muscles? Do you think Daniel Jones is for real? Maybe not top 5, but top 12?
It's definitely looking that way. I mean, week 1, I thought it was a fluke. Week 2, I was like, oh, okay. He continues to do it. I don't know. Shane Steichen just found something in him and fixed it. I mean, we do know Shane Steichen's quarterback guru, but I don't know that run game. I think that run game's definitely helping him with Jonathan Taylor. I saw Jonathan Taylor has more rush yards than most NFL teams do combined. As a whole, I saw a tweet that was like Jonathan Taylor has more rushing yards than it was like the Chiefs saying, and it just listed like 16 teams. So
yeah.
I think that's definitely helping them. I mean,
right.
Getting them in position, but
and it's kind of a nice story, like Jim Irsay passing away, of course, and like the Colts kind of taking a step. Anthony Richardson just not working out, whatever's going on, the injuries and just how he is. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor's who it's built around. I mean, we need a healthy Josh Downs. Tyler Warren, just a tremendous pick by the Colts. I feel like the Colts hit on a lot of picks. I mean, even I was no AD Mitchell fan, but where they got him in the draft, I mean, that's a good pick. Alec Pierce down the field. I mean, just maybe not good for fantasy, but good for the Colts, right? Like, kind of keeps this offense going. Michael Pittman, who had a horrible year last year, kind of having a bit of a resurgence, getting with Daniel Jones and making some plays here. So, yeah, I really like this Colts offense. I can see him definitely being right around that 12. I can see him taking some steps back here. I think he's going to have some struggles. I mean, even Sam Darnold did, right? Because everybody's like, oh, Sam Darnold, and then he has a bad game. Like, it's just kind of what these guys somewhat do. I don't necessarily think he's the answer, but he is playing for a contract. So
yes, he is. So yeah, I mean, this will be interesting. I mean, if he plays good enough, do the Colts just bring him back? I mean, I never thought I wish I would have invested more.
And, he was somebody I was going out and trying to give thirds for, like multiple thirds or whatever, just to see if I can get him. Not a lot of people biting. Didn't really want to go to that second route because I'm like, what's his upside? Like, even now, can you get a first for him? Probably not.
No.
So you were taking all the risk, which it would have still been a good reward, not necessarily value-wise, but production-wise. Sometimes that's hard for me in fantasy football to like, where's that reward? Is it value or fantasy production? Like, ultimately, it
Right.
needs to be fantasy production, right? Not necessarily always value, because I've lost a lot of trades. Like, I remember trading you, I think it was you, J.K. Dobbins for Leonard Fournette.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, towards the end of Lenny's career, which Leonard Fournette helped me win, but I definitely lost a trade. Like, even Dobbins, this is before he tore his Achilles. So, and look, Dobbins still playing, and Leonard Fournette's somewhere probably on his couch with lots of money. But I mean, besides the point, I love Leonard Fournette. Don't get me
I do
wrong.
too. I do too.
What's up, Rich? Thanks for tuning in, man. We really appreciate it. Ryan's starting. Ryan is starting for the Giants this week. League MVP inbound. I love it. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. Muscles with that cannon arm
That's right.
and
That's
them
right.
crazy legs. He's got that Jameer Gibbs little bounce to him. So. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about a couple running backs here. James Cook. We got to see it Thursday night. It really seems like this Buffalo offensive line's really dominating up front. We were really worried about James Cook. We were I am a Ray Davis truther. I'll admit it. Go to my X account. You'll see it right in the bio. But they did ultimately pay James Cook back-to-back 100 yards games, 4 rushing touchdowns. And let me tell you, I looked ahead at James Cook's schedule. He has a great schedule coming up. So, Muscle, somebody that I really wish I had more shares of James Cook. How do you feel about James Cook, and where are you valuing him?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of James Cook, not as much as I'd like, but I do have a decent amount. He was just a guy that just seems like he always seems to put up points. I know he had a lot of touchdowns last year, and we were like, oh, we're kind of scared of the touchdown regression, but just seems like he's just a dump off machine, and just seems like for fantasy, he always just seems to be undervalued. But
yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree with you. I wish I had more. We were worried about the holdout. That did tear me off of him a little bit, but yeah, definitely a guy that, yeah, he could be a top 5, I think, running back at the end of the year.
I do too.
Again,
I
think
I
he
know
was
it's
there last year.
And I know it's Miami. And everybody's gashing Miami. Like, they don't look great, but I mean, he's going to see them again. He sees New Orleans. He sees New England, Tampa Bay, Houston, Pittsburgh. A lot of these guys, I mean, a lot of these teams are very beatable for him. I think something that we didn't take in consideration, and where I don't want to speak for you, I'll speak for myself, that I didn't take into consideration with touchdown regression is the Buffalo Bills, right? Like, Buffalo Bills are a powerhouse team. So, like, we never do it with Derrick Henry, so why do it with James Cook? Just because Derrick Henry is big and bruising? I don't know. But, like, in my mind, these are both AFC juggernauts that, like, it's hard to take away touchdown regression whenever they're that good. It's going to put up that many points. So, Muscle's a future Steelers quarterback. We could use you over Aaron Rodgers, Muss, and no ayahuasca trips for you, my friend. Cook is no Trevor Lawrence. F you, Adam. F you. Trevor Lawrence, he sucks. He just pisses me off.
Yeah, we were both wrong about that.
Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some. I can't believe it. I really can't. I can't believe it's this bad. I mean, would he be that good? But at least Jordan Love lost to Cleveland this week. So.
that Cleveland defense, I know I was talking to you about it. It must be for real.
Yeah, I know. Another surprising defense. I don't want to get too off the rails here, but Carolina.
Yeah.
Carolina's defense has been pretty damn solid. I mean, not to give Trevor Lawrence an out or nothing, but
yeah,
they've seen a couple different ones that did pretty good.
Yeah, Carolina was a defense I always used to pick on in DFS, but it just seems like they've turned it around.
They might take one of these fallers, and he might not even be in the NFL anymore after they're done with him this week, who we'll mention. But yeah, James Cook, just to touch on him once again real quick. I think what can you do to tier to James Cook, I think is what I'm personally trying to do. Like, okay, let's talk about this. Say if you had Saquon Barkley, could you go up Saquon, get Cook in a first? Like, I think that seems probably a little far-fetched. Like, I don't know if you could. That would be all
Yeah.
right. Like,
I would take the Cook side, but yeah, that's
I don't know if you get it done because Barkley hasn't really done as
yeah.
much. Would you trade Barkley straight up for him and get that younger Cook? Like, at the same time, Barkley's still there for a couple years though, so like
I know
maybe
that would be tough.
that would be tough. Where's he at on I'm just curious. Let's look on KTC real quick because I feel like there's got to be a way to get James Cook that makes sense for everybody. I don't think that one makes too much sense. Oh, okay. Devon Achane or James Cook? Who you got there, Muscles?
I'd take James Cook.
Okay. Bucky Irving or James Cook?
Oh, I think you got to go James Cook. I like Bucky, but
That one's super close. I'm Cook over Achane, who is one spot ahead. Right now, James Cook on KTC is RB8, Achane RB7, and Bucky Irving RB6. So I think I could move him up to RB7. I don't know about Bucky.
I can't blame you.
That one's very close to me. So let's see. Teixeira, I got a quick keep trade cut for you guys, choosing between Brian Thomas Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr., and Drake London. How do you have these guys after 3 weeks? Any concerns going forward with these guys? Where are you at on them? I think you got to be concerned about all three of these guys.
Yep.
Two of them we are going to talk about.
Do you trade Harrison for the name value? Oh man. Keep London, cut Thomas.
I'd keep Drake London. I would trade Harrison, and I would which feels weird, but yeah, Brian Thomas would be my let go guy there.
Yep. I'm in agreement.
Let's go ahead. Let's talk about one more running back here, Muscles. Jordan Mason. So no Aaron Jones. Jordan Mason, 116 rush yards, 2 touchdowns, 7.25 yards per carry, but no targets. That is concerning, Muscles. And you can make a living on this. We've seen Derrick Henry. Is he a mini Derrick Henry? But here's my problem. I think there's going to be up weeks with Jordan Mason and down weeks. So they got to play Cincinnati where you can really beat them on the ground, right? And they completely dominated that game. So, of course, Jordan Mason did. He's going to see the bulk of the work. But what if they're trailing? What's going to happen there? Like, they were using freaking Xavier Scott or somebody I've never even heard of. Like, not saying Jordan Mason can't catch the ball. Just throughout his whole career so far, he hasn't. So, for me, I really like Jordan Mason, but I drafted Jordan Mason more as my running back 2 that I felt like is going to have a role even with Aaron Jones. If you can get running back 1 prices, I think I'm ready to move on from him because I think this is the upside that we're going to get, which is good. It's very good, but it's not game changing as a running back 1. So if you're setting with your running back 2 flex, you're feeling good right now, but again, you can get them running back 1 prices. I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more because, I mean, you take the touchdowns away, it's 11 points. I mean, it's just he's going to be touchdown dependent. That's the bad thing with running backs that don't catch the ball. It's just hard to score 15-plus points. So I think, like you said, I think if they run into a game script where he has 50 yards on the ground and no touchdowns,
yeah,
like last week, what do you have, 3.8 or something like that, 30 yards on the ground?
Yeah,
it's just
sucks. I mean, it's just tough because you hate to be like, oh yeah, I'm buying these guys, but when your price does get so high, sometimes you have to sell. I mean, for me, let's give you this question real quick before we answer Adam's Muscles. who would you rather have out of these three players? Trey Benson, Cam Scatterbo, or Jordan Mason?
Cam Scatterbo.
I'm there with Cam too, and Trey's a pretty easy second for me,
Yes,
just because he has pass catching upside as well.
Yeah.
Adam says, if you are gonna throw to back out of backfield, who are you rather throw to, MCM or Jordan? I'll call plays for MCM to catch it. Who's MCM?
I'm gonna say McCroskey Merritt.
Oh, Ja'Cory Crosky Merritt, maybe.
McCroskey Merritt. Yeah, I think that's who he means. But yeah, I think Merritt can catch, can he?
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
he?
American catch. Older prospect, but yeah, he can catch some.
Yeah.
Let's jump into a wide receiver here, and somebody that I was really high on in the offseason, really felt like he had more than just down the field, and that's Rome Odunze. So I think it's safe to say he's a focal point of this offense. And here's my thing. I don't think we've seen the ceiling with Rome Odunze. He's more than just a down the field player. He's kind of really shown that, and he's kind of shown how he can go up that we love to see in Washington when he played with Penix there, that contested catchability. So somebody I still think we haven't seen a ceiling on. And how do you feel about Rome, Muscles?
I've always been a Rome guy. I'm still there. I'm right there with you. I don't think we saw the ceiling. Once Chicago gets this offense figured out more, it's going to revolve around Rome. I've said it since day one. It was a shame the wide receiver class he came out in, because he would be wide receiver one in this year's class. He would be wide receiver one probably in the year before that's class. I mean,
right.
It was just a shame that he came out in the class with Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. So
yeah, it absolutely was. That was a crazy ass class, really.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, right now on KTC, and I think it's very well justified, wide receiver 9. So I think that's right where he needs to be, because when you take him or Emeka Egbuka, they have Emeka Egbuka one spot ahead. That's so damn close for me. I think Rome has more talent, but also has a little more target competition.
Yeah.
So
I think it's one of those trades where either side, I think you just want a little plus just to sleep better at night.
Right. So yeah, I think he's right there. I mean, that one spot ahead of Nico Collins. I'm fine with that. Actually, very fine with that. So have a ton of Rome, and I think he's really starting to take off here. Teixeira says Mason all day for him, but hey, would you guys capitalize off Mason performance to upgrade to a James Cook, like Mason plus for Cook? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's probably going to have to be a pretty big plus, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, probably. I mean, if you want to give up first for James Cook, I think you're going to go up probably 2.
Yep.
So it's probably going to have to be Mason. And if I had Cook, what would even intrigue me be Mason in your 27 first, not necessarily your 26 first, get into that 27 class.
Yep.
I think that's probably where it would be for me. And that might be a trade you get done and capitalize off that. I don't mind that at all, actually. Let's talk about Ricky Pearsall next here. So another focal point guy, I feel like, out of these receivers. He has 2 100-yard games. He benefited very much so with George Kittle out. And I've also Juwan Jennings missed last week too. But here's kind of the thing. This has been with Mac Jones. Now, week 1 was with Purdy. He's done it with Mac. So he hasn't got in the end zone yet, but he's making a lot of these catches downfield. Ricky Pearsall, somebody who I really, really like. I liked him as a prospect. I kind of felt like in the offseason things got a little bit too high. But I think they were justified well. And Ricky Pearsall is somebody that I definitely have some shares of in my rookie drafts, but like a lot of startups, I did not draft Ricky Pearsall. But even when Ayuk comes back, I think he's already shown me enough where I think he's going to be the new focal point. Now, besides Kittle, and McCaffrey's going to get his as well. I feel like Kittle and McCaffrey are kind of that low ADOT kind of eat for San Francisco, and Ricky Pearsall is kind of that mid-range down the field guy. So how do you feel about Ricky?
Yeah, he was a guy getting steamed up in the offseason, and I'll be honest, I was like, I don't really see the hype. Like I just wasn't buying in, but I was wrong. I was wrong on Slick Rick there, and like you said, there's just not much target share or target, competition there. So I mean, he definitely is taking advantage of an opportunity with Ayuk out, Kittle out, like you said, Juwan Jennings out. So he is the only guy, and he's doing it with Mac Jones. He gets Brock Purdy back this week. That should be a little bit better for him.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where he'd be like on KTC. Do you think like this is Pearsall's ceiling? I mean, he is getting.
We'll do a little would you rather with them then, Muscles. Jameson Williams.
See, I think I'd rather have Ricky Pearsall there.
T. Higgins.
Oh man, that does get close. I think I'm gonna take Ricky. I'll take the younger guy. Probably not by much.
Zay Flowers.
See, I'm just not a big Zay fan. I'll take Ricky.
A.J. Brown.
Probably depends on where you're at. If you're, oh man, maybe not even if you're in win now, A.J. Brown, because I think they're.
A.J. Brown's only 28.
Yeah. So.
A.J. Brown seems like he's been in the NFL forever, right?
It does. For some reason, I was thinking he's like 29 or 30.
Yeah, he's 28 and Ricky Pearsall's 25, so only a couple year difference there.
I think I'll stay with A.J. Brown.
I think I would too. So T. Higgins, Jameson Williams on KTC are behind him. Zay Flowers is one spot ahead of him, then A.J. Brown. So I think he's sitting at wide receiver 20 right now. I think that's pretty appropriately ranked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty appropriately ranked. And another guy, it's going to be kind of hard to buy right now. I mean, maybe you buy back in when Kittle comes in or something like that, like especially coming off a game like no Juwan Jennings. So
yeah. So do you think this is Pearsall's ceiling? I mean, do you think?
I don't think it's a ceiling because, and that's the thing that's where it's kind of tricky.
I think it is
because he hasn't caught touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He hasn't had any touchdowns. People love touchdowns. They see the extra 6 months. You know what I mean? Because it turns. He's wide receiver. He's like wide receiver, I don't know, like right around 20, even fantasy-wise, because he doesn't score touchdowns. So, like, for me, whenever you're starting to see, like, adding a touchdown, 2 touchdowns to them stat lines, people are like, oh, damn, Ricky Pearsall. They're not realizing.
16.
Yeah, they're not realizing necessarily. Just think if he scores.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, so I don't think we've seen a ceiling. But at the same time, like target-wise, maybe we have.
That's what I'm thinking. But like you said, I mean, touchdown. He has not scored a single touchdown this year, so.
Right. Teixeira says, is DJ Moore getting traded? Rome looks like the alpha wide receiver one for Caleb. And do we believe the big name against Dallas? In the big game against Dallas, Luther Burden, season-long trajectory. How do we feel about that? Luther Burden, I think, will have some plays. I wasn't the biggest Luther Burden fan when I broke down the film. I think he's a very athletic, tremendously talented individual, I guess we can say. Yeah. I just have concerns about football for him. I don't know. I just seen like his route tree wasn't the greatest in my opinion. Like, I've seen some attitude issues, some pretty easy drops, but like you can tell he's super athletic and talented. DJ Moore, is he traded? I don't think he is this year. I feel like they're gonna do everything they can for Caleb to make him look good, and I think it would be dumb to move, in my opinion, to move DJ Moore. And I know a lot of people really, really say that, but you want to do what's best for your quarterback. Like they don't. Rome gets hurt. Next thing you know, you have Luther Burden and Colston Loveland's hurt, and you have Cole Kmet. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like if you move DJ Moore. So I think he probably stays a Bear, and unless he throws a fit and really wants out, but he's still getting targeted some, just not to where he was like the Justin Fields year.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Let's talk about one tight end here, and that's Juwan Johnson. So Spencer Rattler and him have had a connection. We kind of see at the end of last year. A nice player that will continue to be utilized, I feel like, in this offense. And in my opinion, I think I'm taking advantage of this. Muscles, there's some good rookie tight ends that we really like that haven't done anything. Elijah Roro hasn't done anything. Mason Taylor hasn't done anything. I think Terrence Ferguson has been a healthy scratch. So, I really want to use Juwan Johnson, especially if I'm a rebuilder, and go out and maybe try to get my hands on some of these guys like Aurora and Mason, definitely Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
And maybe you can make that happen. I don't know. I'd be willing to throw in a little bit more to get Mason Taylor or Aurora, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I'm not buying into this hype, into this performances. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like him and Rattler have that connection. So they're more than likely they're going to have a good chance being a number 1 pick. So it could be Garrett Mussenmeyer or whoever takes that step forward and becomes the Saints' new quarterback. And you take along with that, more than likely, they're going to probably draft some kind of target competition. Like, it's not just going to be Rashid Shaheed. It's not going to be just Chris Olave. It's going to be somebody. If it's a free agent or a second-round pick, like, they really have to try to invest in something, especially if they draft a quarterback. We see this a lot. I mean, I think Burrow came out with T. Higgins. That was the same class, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the same class. Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Who else? I know we've seen that with a couple different players. Now I'm acting like a liar here, but I think there's a couple different players. I love to see that too. Well, Caleb and Rome.
Yeah, Caleb and Rome. Yep.
So I think that would be where the Saints go to try to just revamp this offense, get fans in seats, man. Like, nobody wants to see low-scoring defensive games. Their defense is bad. Their offense is bad. I think they're going to invest in the offense because they need them seats. They need people there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this team's bad. I mean, when do they trade Kamara for draft capital? When do they does Olave maybe get moved? Like,
yeah.
And maybe even John tight end, if we were just talking about Johnson gets moved at some point.
Right.
I just think this team's bad.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So maybe even Kamara's moved at some point as well. Let's go to a couple followers here real quick. We'll touch on them. Michael Penix, so bench last game. Is going to start this week, though, but looked really bad against the Vikings as well. I mean, so 2 straight really bad weeks for Michael Penix. So in the offseason, I sold a lot of my Michael Penix shares. I drafted him a lot in the second round. I traded a lot of my 26th first to draft him in the second that year.
Yeah.
And I'm still fine with that because I used him as a piece to trade. I got Jaden Daniels in a trade. I got Jamar Chase in a trade. I mean, obviously, I gave up more like future draft capital and other solid players, but it's going to be hard to move him right now. Just curious where he is on KTC. It's got to kind of be down there a little bit, I would say. And I would really like to try to move him somewhere just to tier a different way. He's quarterback 21 right now. So, I mean, right there beside Trevor Lawrence, quarterback 22. I mean, it both. Yeah.
I can't believe Lawrence has played bad, but that's to be that low. I just can't believe how bad he was because the film, he was an accurate passer. I mean, it was just basically the injury concerns and the age that were like the big red flags for us. And neither one of them are the reason that he's sucking right now. So
right. And I should say that, as I said, I moved off my Michael Penix shares. It wasn't because I thought he sucked.
No.
I moved off him because he's an older prospect that dealt with injuries. He's played college football since like 2018. So I was really scared of injuries happening. It wasn't because of a talent standpoint.
Right.
So
Right.
what's your panic meter on Michael Penix Muscles out of 10?
See, like that's the thing. I don't know if this is just honest because I watched his film and this isn't Michael Penix. So I don't know if something's in his head. If so it's definitely got to be up there, but I'm gonna say probably around a 6 right now. Like I'm not full blown. I'm like you. I don't have a lot of Michael Penix like at all, if I have any, to
Right.
be honest. But yeah, I think they get this figured out.
They need to. They really
Yeah.
need to. I mean, I'm a little higher than you. I'm like a 9. Like
Did they bring in a new offensive coordinator or something new there? Like what?
he was there last year's Robinson.
Okay,
He was with
Zach
the Rams.
Robinson.
Yeah, Zach Robinson. I believe he was there last year as well.
That's what I'm just trying to figure out. Like what changed? Because like last year when he came in, it was just
Yeah.
he looked good, and
Yeah.
it looked like him and London had a rapport, and this year it's all falling apart. I don't.
So big reason why I'm really worried too is if he's struggling throwing the ball, he has no rushing upside. You know what I mean? Like
know.
I and that's where like can I get Justin Fields plus? Like okay, I know Justin Fields had a bad game, but I know he has some rushing upside. Like I'm gonna say Michael Penix is an older prospect. He's gonna be 26 next year.
Yeah.
Same age as Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields is 26, so actually the same age. Can you tear down off of him? It might be a even swap now. It might be. I know KTC has Justin Fields ranked quite a bit lower than him, but like, depending league to league, I think if I had Justin Fields, I don't know if I would personally do it. I would give up Penix for him. I think I would rather just gamble
on Fields. Yeah.
Yeah, gamble on Fields. If I tiered down, I would love to try to get a plus, like a second, or maybe one of these power up players that we're going to talk about as a throw in piece. Or what do I got to do? Like I'm kind of looking up. Dak hasn't looked great, so it's like, do I want to tier up to an older quarterback or just hold? Because there is a lot of guys here that like CJ Stroud didn't look good, so I don't know. It's going to be a hard move to tier into somebody that you feel good about. Kyler hasn't looked good. So what if somebody offered you a 26 first, like a mid 26 first? Like this is somebody like Michael Penix. If he takes off, it could be late. If he sucks, it could be earlier. Would you take that trade, Muscles?
I would.
I think I'm to that point too. I think I would take a first and just roll the dice once again.
Yep.
Bo Nix. So Bo's missed a lot of throws lately. We were already worried about a little regression from Bo Nix. I know this hits near and dear to your heart, Muscles. What are you doing with Bo Nix? And let's hear your panic meter on him.
Yeah, he's quarterback 20 on the year. Just like you said, only one game of over 200 yards. Throwing the ball, it just has not looked good. It looks like he's missing throws. I think if Sean Payton wasn't there, I think it'd be a little bit higher. I think Sean Payton will get this figured out.
I do too.
They haven't brought in anybody as far as offensive coordinator. I think it's the same guy. So, like you said, it's sophomore slump. Sometimes the rookies come in that they think the league's too easy. Second year, everybody's got them figured out. Nobody expected that kind of performance out of Bo Nix. So the league's got him figured out, got him squared away. Kind of humbling a little bit right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think for us that we felt he would take a little bit of regression. I know Dynasty Dog Mike talked about this, maybe especially in the rushing upside with him. I'm like you. My panic meter, if I got to put a number on it, I think for me it's probably like a 7.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 7, just for the simple fact that like he's being drafted at what, top 12?
Yeah.
Top 12. So like you missed, you know what I mean? You definitely missed, but like I still think he can put up some good seasons. Like, I think he can always finish as that borderline quarterback back end one in his good years, and probably like even this year 15, 16. Still isn't horrible. Like, it's a good quarterback too.
Yeah, and he does have some decent legs, so I mean
Yeah.
he does offer you a little bit upside
Yeah.
as far as rushing.
Yeah, I think he was talking about Musk. Kev. He's a future star in the league, Muscles.
Oh yeah,
He's already in locker rooms and turning heads. So
fielding calls left and right.
hey, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. I wish I could. Let's talk about Chase Brown. So somebody that 2 yards per carry, somebody that we felt had such a high ceiling. And I don't want to say we were wrong, because I don't think we were necessarily wrong on the situation, but no Joe Burrow. I think he's very replaceable. So this situation went from very good to where he's going to be getting, like, this is a good offense. Like, we want to invest in all the Bengals, right? Then this
Yeah.
happens to Joe Burrow, and now we're like Jamar Chase or nothing. Like, we're seeing T. Higgins. He hasn't done anything these last couple of weeks. Obviously Chase Brown's not successful on the ground, so we're like, oh yeah, but he can catch passes. Not doing that, not scoring touchdowns. So my thing with Chase Brown, can it really get any worse? Like, he does have some better matches ahead. So maybe a hold for me until he gets some value, and then maybe you can move on from Chase Brown. So for me, my panic meter with Chase Brown's at like an 8, because just where he was drafted being that replaceable, like, I want to move on, but just not yet. And I think something to keep in the back of your mind, he still is a bell cow. He had 47 carries so far in these 3 weeks. That's tied for 10th league-wise. So getting the usage, just not getting the production. What's your panic meter on Chase Brown, Muscles, and can he turn it around, and what are you doing with him?
I think I think you're exactly right. It's kind of scary because obviously now they have Jake Browning in there and no Burrow, so defenses aren't really scared of Jake Browning taking them deep. So obviously they're probably playing more in the box and everything like that. So we see this all the time. Just seems like the running backs can't get going. Maybe they're more guys in the backfield, not as many dump offs. Dump offs aren't going as far because
Right.
Guys are just playing up.
Yeah.
So I think until Burrow gets back, it's just kind of, I think he falls into that running back 2/flex category. I just think more deep defenders are just playing up on them. So
Yeah, I think that too. And you got to remember with Jake Browning, he isn't Joe Burrow.
right.
He's a very good backup, in my opinion. He's like a Charlie Batch. Like, the guy can come out and throw for 4 touchdowns, but will also throw 4 or 5 interceptions. Like, you take the good with the bad, man. And I think Jake Browning will still have him in some shootouts. And we kind of seen it with Jacksonville, right? Like, what do you have? 3 touchdowns and 3 or 4 interceptions. Just with the Vikings, he had 3 or 4 interceptions, I think, and no touchdowns.
Yep.
So it's just what a backup does, man. Like, that's why Cincinnati, it's going to be a long year for them, because they're going to have games where they're in contention to try to win, and unfortunately their defense is so bad that it's going to be hard to win them games that are close, where you can't rely on Joe Burrow. The fucking Dragon Slayer, man. Like, you can't rely on him. Like, now you have Jake Browning. So
yep.
Kev says, how about this start of the season? Never in a million years did I expect having a team with Chase, Henry, and Hall and be setting at 0-3.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm in a couple leagues where I'm just like, how am I 0-3? And in Dynasty, it's really, really hard to be like, do I need to sell, or do I need to set here, or do I need to buy? Like, it's never always good just sitting there, but when your team has talent, they're just like, one person goes off and the other 2 don't, then it is frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Teixeira says, Muscles, make it onto a sprint car, dirt track, or the NFL field first. Which one would you do more if you got the opportunity to do both?
I've never raced a sprint car, but I mean that would be fun. NFL field, I ain't touching that. I'm too
Yeah.
small for that. So
Could you see Muscles on special teams?
yeah, I'm like Marvin Mims size, probably less than that. So
He
yeah,
was like the Tyler Lockett, man. Whenever we played football, you threw him the ball and he hit the ground. Like, he wasn't taking a hit. He makes an executive decision, and I love it.
exactly. Got to stand on business.
That's right. That's right. Let's go to one more running back here. Muscles. Ashton Genty, another player tied top 10 in the league for usage-wise. So we have seen a ton of great backs struggle here before. You know, Breece Hall had some struggles when he first came in. Jonathan Taylor had some struggles when he first came in. A stat I looked with Ashton Genty, he's been hit behind the line 68% of his carries. That's worst in the league. And Ashton Genty has broken 13 tackles so far, and that's the most in the NFL. So last week, he was hit behind the line against Washington, 11 of his 17 carries. I'm very much buying Ashton Genty still. Unfortunately, there's people that just hate on certain players, like that just I don't know why, but like I've seen a lot of Ashton Genty hate. Like, told you he's a bust. He
Yep.
Boise State.
People
know,
just want to be right. Like, I mean, we
know.
see it with Caleb Williams. We see it
Take-
with like
Take
it's just
shit, throw it at a wall, and see if it sticks. And sometimes it does. Like that's like
exact-
Marvin Harrison. We told you Marvin Harrison was bad, dude. Watch the film. Like, dude was
Yeah.
a beast. Like,
Yeah, there was nothing in that film that like
absolutely not.
would have told you that.
Whenever we podcasted before, when we said about like, you know, does Marvin Harrison have some attitude problems? Like, he didn't sign the Fanatics. Remember we talked about that? Like, we don't want to be throwing, but
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that's what it is, but now more's coming to light. I've heard other podcasts talk about it. It's like, yeah, dude, like, I don't know, maybe. And I don't want to get off the rails, talk about him. We'll talk about Genty, but like, yeah, certain people just do that. Don't buy into it. This guy, I truly feel like is he Jahmyr Gibbs? Is he Bijan Robinson good? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not there yet, but I think he's my running back 3 still in Dynasty.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely got to be top
personally.
5 still. Yeah, definitely got to be top 5.
For me personally, like, I mean, as much as I love James Cook, like, I'd still rather have Ashton Genty. It might sound crazy. Like, I'd still give Saquon Barkley straight up for Ashton Genty. Like, give me them years, man. Like,
oh yeah.
Pete Carroll wants to win, and he will get a line in there for Genty. It's just Rome wasn't built in a year. Like, it takes a little bit. So I think just be patient with Genty. Send out some offers, man. Like, James Cook's doing good. I don't know. Would you rather have James Cook? Maybe you're.
I think I would personally rather have James Cook, but I can see it. You know, I mean, obviously Genty's 21 years old, and you know, definitely has the upside of being above James Cook.
Yeah, I think so too. James Cook's playing really good football right now. It is hard to say. At KTC, he is still running back 3, so right ahead of Barkley. But I mean, I think they're in the same tier. Like, it's kind of tier wise there. But yeah, I think he's a perfect buy right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Teixeira, you didn't derail the show, man. We love when people talk to us, so don't worry about that at all. So what was your answer with that, Musk? You're definitely sprint car racing. He didn't ask me, but I'm sprint car racing too. I just, dude, I got hit by somebody. You get older. Sometimes it's hard to even get up out of bed too.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't imagine playing a game.
I'm not saying that sprint car racers don't get hurt, but
oh yeah,
you can't take hits from 300-pound linebackers every day.
Hell no. But let's go ahead. This is somebody we're going to talk about. I just mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr. It's been very tough. Muscles, I know you DM me the video of him with the horrible wide open drop. We love the film. Is he the Kyle Pitts of receivers, where Kyle Pitts' film? The only reason that I was out on Kyle Pitts at cost is I didn't want to be devastated by somebody that I felt like we didn't see it, right? Like, he was his rookie year, he was a top 12 startup pick. I'm like, pump the brakes. We haven't seen it yet. So that it just would it translate, and it looked like it was going to 1,000 yards his rookie year, and just hasn't really done anything since. But you know, Marvin Harrison is kind of giving me them vibes. Despite all this, he's been targeted on just under 26% of his routes. Had the horrible drop and has been accounted for another one. So they're not going away from him. So I think that's something that's good to see. What are you doing with Marvin Harrison Jr. and what's your panic meter, Muscles? Let's hear it.
It's definitely got to be up there. I think you made a good point with the Kyle Pitts comparison. Kyle Pitts, we at least saw 1,000-yard year. I mean, Marvin Harrison really hasn't done much.
I think 800 yards, which is solid.
It's solid. Yeah, it's solid.
But like he was still. I drafted a lot of Harrison in the second, third round turn, and I'm disappointed. I'll just say it. I'm disappointed.
Here's the comparison. He's a Trevor Lawrence of wide receivers. Like,
oh damn.
Yeah,
the Chase Elliott of NASCAR.
Yeah, there you go. It's just just all the hype and just nothing. I mean, dropping wide open passes and just like, I mean, you said it a little bit ago. We thought maybe there's a little bit of an attitude problem, and not blaming it on it, but maybe this is what it is.
He needs to get
Trey McBride eats in that offense.
I know, and that's what I was just gonna say, that like Trey McBride's a number one there, man. It's not Harrison, and that something that was always concerning. Just could they both, succeed off this? I don't know. I think it's like a bit of everybody, and maybe I'm just trying to blame people, but like I think it's a little bit of Kyler Murray. I think it's a little bit of Petzing, the offensive coordinator, right? I think it's a little bit of Marvin Harrison Jr. himself. It's just kind of a combination of like all three of these guys. And here's my thing though, dude. Like, what are you going to get for him? I cannot sell him for a first. Like, can't.
No.
I just know that there's talent there somewhere. I think the only other thing you could do is if you wanted to move off of him and get rid of the risk, you're going to have to overpay, but you're going to have to give up like him and probably a first to tier into that. And maybe you can't now. Amon-Ra, can you get Amon-Ra for that?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you could try.
And if you can't, can you get JSN? And I love JSN, but that kind of sucks. Like, they were drafted like neck and neck with each other. Now you got to give up a first just to get rid of the risk.
Yeah.
So like for me, I think he's a solid hold.
Yeah.
You're not selling him for a first. Are you buying for a first? Like, I still feel like I'm half in that I still want to buy because like I don't know, man. I believe in the talent. I think that's kind of where I'm at, but I understand
what about Rashee Rice? I feel like this is an interesting one. So like, Rashee Rice is coming back here. Like, who would you rather have at this point? And I feel like this is a deal you could get done.
Rashee Rice straight up.
Yeah, I bet you could even get plus at this point.
I think I want that plus. Let's look on KTC.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. cleaned down at wide receiver 17. Rashee Rice, wide receiver 16.
Oh wow! I swear I wasn't even looking at that. I was just thinking of Rashee Rice coming back, and I'm like, that's
because Rashee Rice has his own risk. Like he looked really good, but we only seen preseason Rashee Rice. Like,
right,
he has some risk himself. Boy, that's close. That's close.
Yeah.
If you did, don't blame you. Like
I bet if you have Marvin Harrison Jr. and the guy has Rashee Rice, I bet you could get that. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. still has that name value.
I got offered a third and a fourth for Marvin Harrison yesterday, so I mean,
that ain't bad.
That ain't bad.
I got offered a fourth today for Sam Darnold. Like, these trade offers are getting ridiculous.
Yeah, some of them are. I countered back with Ricky Pearsall in the first and got declined right away, which I didn't think that was horrible, but
no.
But
Seems like the
yeah,
more leagues I get in, the more just ridiculous just people get with trade offers.
I think I'm cutting out. We're getting way too off the rails here, but I think I'm cutting out some free leagues next year.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
hard to keep up with because whenever you're in like 40 leagues. So let's go ahead. I think that's enough with Marvin Harrison. I think we're like, I think I'm personally my final thing. My panic meter's at like an 8. I'm scared
Yeah,
because of where I drafted him, but I'm gonna say I still believe in the talent. I know he's a good football player. I just hope Marvin Harrison can find, remember that he's a good football player. We'll
yep.
kind of see. I think I'm not selling for a first at all. I'm
No.
not doing. I'll go down with the ship. But if you want to buy, just know that he has really big upside. But there's also that downside of what you're getting right now. So just, I guess, buyer beware tag on Marvin Harrison for me. Another young receiver that's really disappointed so far, Brian Thomas. He's a faller here for the Fantasy Football Power Hour. He's dropping balls, not finishing routes. Brian Thomas is wide receiver 54 right now. He was going top 10, arguably as a top 8 dynasty receiver. Shane Waldron's here. We all fantasy players hate Shane Waldron, and I don't use that term lightly. They hate Shane Waldron. Like
Yeah.
he's a dynasty devil, man. Like it's not good. So 3 drops in 3 games, and it's not all Shane Waldron, to be honest, because Shane Waldron ain't making Brian Thomas dropping balls, not finishing routes. Brian Thomas, man, he has 1 contested catch on 8 attempts. So my panic meter is pretty high for Brian Thomas, but I think Brian Thomas is somebody that has a little bit more value actually than Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. I think people still believe in him a little bit more. He is sitting at wide receiver 13 on KTC. So, I mean, we're talking about Rashee Rice and Marvin Harrison. You could turn Brian Thomas Jr. into Rashee Rice, according to this, and I would do that. I would take Garrett Wilson. I'd take Garrett Wilson over Brian Thomas. I think I would want a little Ladd McConkey. That one's close. That one's close for me. Ladd's been a little disappointing too.
Yeah.
So that one's a little bit closer. Teixeira says, would you offer Marvin Harrison Jr. for Ladd McConkey? We're just talking about. I would rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. still.
I think I'm chasing that upside.
Yeah, I'm still there. But if you did it, I don't think it's horrible. Like I understand. And like I said, Ladd's off to a little bit of a slower start. Keenan Allen really hurt him coming in. Keenan Allen can still ball.
Yeah.
But but that's only short term. Don't get me wrong. Like it just kind of sucks for this year, but they're really slinging the ball. Let's talk about Travis Kelce real quick. He doesn't look good at all, in my opinion. Should be eating into this target competition. And I think he's probably done after the season. I mean, we're seeing Tyquan Thornton leading receivers, and it's just not good for Travis Kelce. I said it before. I think he's done after this year. He kind of came out and already said that.
Yeah.
And, good for him. I mean, he's got a smoking ass fiance that can sing. So, Travis Kelce's had a hell of a career.
Yeah. Let me do the downside of this or the other side of the coin. Do you think defenses? I haven't watched enough Chiefs games or enough Chiefs plays to really have an opinion on this, but do you think defenses are just, obviously we saw Darwin James on them, and are you really scared of Juju Smith-Schuster and Tyquan Thornton? So, I mean, our defense is like just double covering them, and maybe that's, do you play the other side of the coin, and maybe once Worthy comes back or Rashee Rice comes back, maybe buy them dirt cheap. And
Worthy is coming back this week.
Yes.
Supposedly. He's practicing full, so that's something we don't cover. But I mean, possibly. Just watching him move, dude. He just, in my opinion, he just doesn't look. I mean, and obviously he's like 35, 36 years old. He doesn't look the same. So yes, maybe that helps. And I mean, really what you were hoping out of Kelce, you weren't really hoping for 100-yard games. You were hoping for red zone targets. And unfortunately, this offense is just struggling
Yep.
So you're right. Maybe, possibly when them guys are back. But at the same time, when Rashee Rice is back, Xavier Worthy's back, if you had Travis Kelce and he struggled this bad, you didn't really get the edge that you were hoping for. Like, what's your
Right.
team setting at? Like, kind of just depends. If your team's like 500, okay, maybe that puts you in playoff contention, and maybe you can ride it out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe, that's kind of the thing, because like we're here in week 3 going into week 4. If you're 0-3, dude, like, got to get the shit together, because you have a good chance to miss the playoffs now. Like, you're almost a quarter of the way through. It's crazy to say, through your
Yeah.
regular season.
Yep.
So like it's tough, and I think for me, I'm kind of just on to sell him, because I think he's gone after this year. So if you can get, just take that gamble on somebody. I mean, it's kind of where I'm at with it.
I agree.
Personally. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into these power up buys of the week. So we're gonna hit on these. We're not gonna like go too in depth with them. But so what we're gonna do with the power up buys and sells of the week, right? So buys, we're gonna give you a third or equivalent to, a second or equivalent to, and a first and equivalent to. And we're gonna do 3 players each for buys and sells. So Muscles, do you want to go ahead and give your first power up third round or equivalent to buy of the week?
Yeah. Should I go? Oh, yeah. Mine is Eric. You might have to help me.
Aya Manor?
Aya Manor.
Elic
Yeah.
Aya Manor, I think.
Yeah. So he has seemed to really. We thought Calvin Ridley was going to be the guy, and we were both in on Calvin Ridley. And it just seems like Cam Ward so far has a, what do you want to say, repertoire with Aomeyer here. 7 targets in week 1, 6 targets in week 2, 5 targets in week 3. Like, it just seems like he is getting the targets. Snap share above 70% every week. He was shut out against Denver, but he got 15 week 2, 13 in week 3. So it might be too late to buy him for a third, but I know in a lot of drafts it seemed like he was going 4th, 5th round, and sometimes undrafted. So somebody might, have taken him and just say, hey, like let's try to just turn a profit and just turn and burn. Yep. So I'm gonna try to do that.
Yeah, I don't mind that. So Aya Manor, I believe, was out of Stanford. Watching his film, something that stood out to me was like his outbreaking routes. Now he's a younger guy, I believe a sophomore. So younger player, Canadian player, which, whatever, I guess, but like just a little fun fact. So super young, and I felt like there was a lot of hype around him at one point, and goes a little bit later, but definitely does seem to have a rapport. Aya Manor, I believe it was him that tore up Travis Hunter in the one game. I mean, he ended up the second half had like 200 some yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't know if you've seen that. If anybody watching, go to YouTube and watch that. I believe it was Aya Manor that did that, just single-handedly. Amazing second half. But yeah, I don't mind that at all, man. I mean, I really kind of put my chips in on Calvin Ridley. I was like, oh, who do they have? Like, who's going to step up? We were joking around saying about, going to the bar saying, hey, here's our buddy. He's a receiver for the Titans, and just making up a name. Kind of pulling a Shane Gillis joke.
Yeah.
But back to the WNBA for us, because we have our receiver 2 here. It might be a receiver 1 for Tennessee and Elic Aya Manor. So, yeah, young receiver that can definitely grow, right? Especially whenever, you have age on your side. And again, that rapport with a young quarterback in Cam Ward, where he's just trying to find somebody. He's trying to get into rhythm. And it does seem like Aya Manor has been the one that's kind of stepped out so far.
Yep.
So for my first third round or equivalent to buy is actually Woody Marks, running back for Houston. So he's seen an uptick in snaps recently, 11% in week 1, 27% week 2, and 48% this week. So he's a great pass catching back. Nick Chubb, we know he isn't what he used to be. And we know that he possibly could slow down as the season goes on. And I haven't heard a damn thing about Joe Mixon.
Mm-mm.
It kind of falls into that Najee Harris. No news is bad news almost. Like, I think there's a good chance Joe Mixon's out the whole year. Uh, and I think Woody Marks can really step in here in a pass catching role. And he actually looked pretty good between the tackles as well. So maybe somebody throughout the season, he kind of establishes a role with Nick Chubb. And I don't know. I think he has a good possibility to take over that role in Houston, no matter how good it actually is. And then kind of even go forward into next year and establish a pass catching, kind of change of pace back role with Woody Marks. So how do you feel about the Woody Marks buy?
Yeah, I like it. We all know what Nick Chubb was, but Chubb just isn't that anymore. I think Woody Marks could even be a nice compliment back to him. I mean, Nick
Yeah.
Chubb's the pure rusher, and Woody Marks is the pass catcher, speedster. So even if Nick Chubb remains in his role, I think it still could. Woody Marks would still have a role in his own.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm banking on. I have a ton of Woody Marks. I drafted him a lot in like the 4th round. I mean, he always just fell. Somebody that I liked the film, didn't completely love the film, but I love guys in PPR leagues that have the pass catching upside, and he definitely has it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your second or equivalent to buy for the power up buy muscles.
See if we can get him for a second, but I think I'm going to go with Matthew Golden. Obviously we know Jaden Reed's out now. And listen, this Green Bay pass catching situation is a mess, but I think they are looking for a guy to step up, and I think this is his opportunity to kind of step up. So we will see what happens, but obviously guys drafted him in the 2nd. I don't know if a 2nd gets it done. But I don't think a 1st. You have to pay a 1st for him, so you might have to throw in like another 2nd or a 3rd. And I think I'm okay with that. So obviously he is a guy that we liked pre-draft process. We don't like the landing spot. I still don't like the landing spot, but I think with Jaden Reed being out, we're not going to rely on Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks. So I believe Golden was dealing with an injury at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's fully healed, and like I said, this is his shot. So before he comes out and has a breakout game, I think this is a opportunity to get him kind of lowish.
And I think he was the first receiver that Green Bay has drafted in the 1st round since Javon Walker. That was early 2000s. So yeah, I mean, whenever they have good pass or good draft capital, guys we like to invest. I really like Matthew Golden's film. Personally, I really did. I worry a little bit with Jordan Love and the balls down the field. I mean, I've said that millions of times, but he is close on a lot of passes. It's not like he's Michael Penix bad, I guess you could say, but just missing. So if they can get that together, and it's hard to throw to guys that are, what Golden's a high 4.2, low 4.3s, 4.4 guys. So.
And the one thing that does scare me is Jordan Love is not good at throwing that deep ball.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're just missing. If they can get that together, though, it could be really good. But Matthew Golden is somebody that I think can win on in breaking routes as well. So I don't think he's a one-trick pony just down the field. I do think they can get him in space and get him running crossers and get open and let him, get behind defenses as well. So. Yeah, I like the Matthew Golden one a lot, Muscles. Hopefully they get on the same rapport here. Before we go into my next guy here, let's talk about Fast Draft. And Fast Draft, you see the rabbit up in the corner, you always think, oh, Fast Draft, they're the best ball app. Yeah, Fast Draft is, but they have DFS. And anybody that knows Muscles and I, we love DFS. So go on there. You can check out the Flex 6 Frenzy. I've been in plenty of those as well as a Quick 6 Super Slam. So get on there. You can set your boosters. With some of them, there's drafts as well, and you can draft your own team. And there's edges on there, guys. If you really have conviction that, this guy's going to go off, set them 2 times your boosters. So if you go on to Fast Draft, use a promo code POWER. It lets our friends over at Fast Draft know that you listen to the show, and that's why you're over there. It helps them out a lot, helps us out a lot. And It's a place that we really like to play. DFS, we love to play best ball in the off season, so it's an all year thing. Love that about Fast Draft. So go over there, use the promo code POWER, and they will match you up through a first time deposit up to $50. So if you even want to put 10 in there, use a promo code. They'll match it. You get 20. You can try a couple of these competitions, see if you like it. Go back in there, man. So
Yep.
check them out. Fast Draft app. Go over there and start drafting today. Get into some of them DFS competitions. I'm going to be doing some drafts here throughout the whole weekend. Maybe we can get in there together. So again, use a promo code POWER. They will match you up to $50 your first time depositor. So my next guy here, second or equivalent to, and I think this is the last time you're going to be able to buy him for this, is Isaiah Likely. So Muscles, I know we talked pre-show. We both had Isaiah Likely.
Yeah. So I kind of pivoted.
Yeah, you said you're going to pivot. I told you didn't have to, but totally up to you. But we seen what he did last year. He looks good when you watch him. Andrews did nothing the first 2 games. He comes back with a big game 3. I think this is a perfect time to go out and get Isaiah Likely before people end up remembering him, knowing that he's coming back. And with Mark Andrews, that 2-touchdown game, people are like, oh, it's Andrews. People love to chase them numbers, love to chase production. I'm telling you right now, Isaiah Likely is going to have a big role. So I just traded Ramondre Stevenson for him, and I got Jonnu Smith as well as a little throw-in piece. So how do you feel about that trade, Moss?
Yeah, I definitely like it. Likely, I think, is the tight end of the future, I think, of the Ravens. We said it kind of last year. I really like Likely.
I think he's so talented, and something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Mark Andrews actually happy birthday, Mark Andrews turns 30 today. And he's on kind of a weird thing that, like, looking that up and seeing that he turns 30 today. But this is the final year of Mark Andrews' deal. Maybe he's moved on from. I mean, I think that would make a lot of sense. And Isaiah Likely is a guy that kind of comes in there and kind of, I don't even want to say takes over the tight end. Even if they sign Mark Andrews, he's going to have a role. We kind of see Lamar Jackson move the ball around a lot too. So big spike weeks. I think Isaiah Likely, I love him in best ball because definitely getting them points.
Yep.
So who's your no, you had Matthew Golden as your second there. So we did talk about that one. But another guy that we kind of talked about pre-show that we didn't put on here that I just want to mention, Caleb Johnson. This was really close for me, and I almost pivoted to Caleb Johnson. Obviously, you pivoted to Golden. I think we gotta, like, as Steelers fans and watching games, Kenneth Gainwell ain't it. Jaylen Warren is not an every down back. Jaylen Warren's a nice back. I know Caleb Johnson's in the doghouse, guys, but if he can get it going, and I think eventually they're gonna give him an opportunity. Like, they're gonna give him an opportunity. They drafted him in the 3rd round, so, like, he's somebody that, like, I feel like nobody really necessarily wants. I'd still go up a second for him very easily.
Yeah. So, and I think you can kind of gamble and kind of just like, but I mean, you are gambling because if he does get on the field here soon, then the value does start to go back up. But I feel like as you go on week by week, his value is going to, like, slowly go down. But like I said, if something happens to Kenneth Gainwell, or for some odd reason they decide to throw him in a game plan if they're in a blowout one way or another.
And that's why I want to kind of strike now.
Yeah.
And even go out there and offer a third. Maybe they'll say, hey, give me a second. I give up a second and a third, honestly. Like,
yeah.
I see these backs and I'm like, dude, they could really use Caleb Johnson to kind of break through. And he made a dumb mistake. He's a rookie. Like, that kind of stuff happens. And I really, really think he's going to get on the field here eventually. And I think sooner rather than later. Because I'm like you. We've already seen a blowout in Seattle. What if they would have put him on the field then?
Exactly.
Let's go ahead. Let's go to your first or equivalent to, Muss, for your buy.
This was a guy we talked about preseason, one of my bold predictions, but it's going to be Tucker Kraft.
I love this one.
Last week he was hurt. I feel like that was a good buying window. Obviously people, see that 0 last week and, kind of have a sour taste, but man, he's this wide receiver room for the Packers is just all over the place. I always go back to, I never really realized it until I watched it on that Prime Vision, and they cycle receivers out every single play. But the one guy that's always on the field is Tucker Kraft. So,
yep. So this Cleveland game that the Green Bay, they obviously lost to, which is wild. I said the big thing, like I was talking to Shara, DMs, and I told him, I said, I think the big struggle is no Tucker Kraft. He's the one that kind of guides that offense, I feel like. Like, it's definitely Josh Jacobs, but whenever he's not in the receiving game, it's Tucker Kraft. Like, of course, we're missing Jaden Reed, but it is Tucker Kraft. Like, how LaFleur schemes him to get so wide open, and how Tucker Kraft moves around and finds open spaces, and just he's that safety blanket, like how Jake Ferguson is to Dak, but better. Like he's like that electric blanket when it's cold. Like, woo.
And his yards after catch ability. I mean, he is.
He's a smooth operator. I posted something on X saying Tucker Kraft's going to be a top 3 tight end, isn't he? And I think there's a very good possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what Trey McBride and Brock Bowers are studs. I know they're off to a little bit of a little slower start, but like, dude, I think Tucker Kraft's that next guy that I'm just like, damn, I wish I have some. I wish I had more Tucker Kraft. And I think I would go out and overpay. I would.
Yeah.
Because I think
he's still young.
Yeah, he's still young. And I think, like, I know Brock Bowers is an absolute stud. And then, like, Trey McBride's very, very good, too. I think Brock Bowers is in a tier of his own. But I can see Tucker Kraft entering that Trey McBride tier personally. Like, a guy that's a difference maker that, like, okay, he's going to average X amount of points more that gets me over the hump.
Yep.
So, yeah, you said this, but I absolutely loved it. I'm curious what you got to pay, and I'm willing to overpay a little bit for Tucker Kraft personally.
Yeah.
So my first equivalent to buy for the power up buy is Cam Scatterboom, who, you said towards the beginning of the show you feel like he's been a little bit overhyped. So maybe a first isn't enough. I would easily give up a first and a second. And a big reason why, and it was really close. I was going to do Trey Benson. But decided it was Cam Scatterboom because I was a little bit higher on the film. And we just think he's the best back there. And just his pass catching ability, that first contact, how great he's looked. And he came into a complete shit situation. And it's kind of been like that twinkling star in this offense that struggled besides the Dallas game. But like, just this whole offense, we just weren't really sure about. I kind of shied away because I'm like, he might be a little bit touchdown dependent. Like, I think he's better than Tyrone Tracy. Look, I was pretty damn sure he was, but like, just because I think that, do the coaches think that? So like, they just going to roll with Tracy, and now we're starting to kind of see him take over that backfield. Played amazing against Kansas City. It was a very tough matchup. I'm very much so in on Cam Scatterboom, man, and I'm willing, as I say, an overpay. I give up a first and a second, and I think that's probably my max.
Yeah, so I was just looking at the trade browser right now. There's Cam Scatterboom for a first and a second, Cam Scatterboom and Ashton Genty for a 26 first and Emeka Egbuka. And then Cam Scatterboom straight up for Drake London.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Cam Scatterboom a first for Saquon Barkley.
No, probably not.
Cam Scatterboom in 2 seconds for Rome Odunze.
Oh my God, dude!
Yeah,
maybe this was a bad one.
No, I like it. I just, like I said, I think, like, from what I've seen, it's just, man, he is hyped.
He's running back 20 on KTC, which seemed like equivalent to. So I'm like, maybe you're right though. Maybe you can't get that done. Like, it's something that I'd definitely be willing to do. And then if you can't get Cam done, go to Trey Benson.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe he is a little bit more hyped than what I actually thought. That's actually kind of wild in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have been on the sell list. As much as I love him, but
I do like him.
I do too. Let's go ahead. We'll start off with some of these cells. I'll go first on these cells, Mus. So third or equivalent to for the power up cells. I have Jake Browning. This is strictly super flex. You're probably not even rostering him in one quarterback unless you're absolutely desperate. But again, he's going to have some good games, going to have some ups and downs. This is a good offense. I just don't think it can get much worse from last week. We need to kind of see something out of him. And if you do, just take the third and move on. It's the only value. We draft these guys a lot in super flex muscles. You're notorious for this as well. Draft them, and then when they get kind of valued like this, you get a third, and then you take a shot again. Then that's how you get a Jalen Milroe or somebody.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was just reading there, but yeah, he is that guy that I'm right there with you. I'm just selling him.
Yeah,
if you can get a third.
Yeah, or if you can get, how about this? Like, if you need to get creative, you couldn't do that. What if you could give up, if somebody had Burrow and say, it's kind of hard to, like, hypothetical, right? Like, I'd love to somehow get Jalen Milroe,
yeah.
But, like, even if I had to give up a third in him, or would you give up a second him? If he's that sweetener, I use him as a sweetener.
Yeah, because that's the bad thing. I mean, I've honestly cut him in a bunch of leagues like preseason because I had to make the roster cuts, and it's like, man, so like when Burrow's there, he's basically a roster clogger,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Unfortunately, and I like Browning. I mean, last year I was like, I was pounding the table for him. I like him, but when Burrow's there, he's basically a roster clogger because I dumped him in a bunch of leagues because he's an older guy.
Yep.
But I like him. He's a decent, but he's a backup. So
he is. I got a good one for you. Not to cut you off, just because I thought this was a good one. So in KTC, he's going as quarterback 32. Okay, Mac Jones is going quarterback 35. I would love to move Jake Browning and get Mac Jones.
I would too.
I think Mac Jones could have a legitimate chance to go somewhere and get another shot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a move. And I give up a third. I give up a third in Jake Browning to get. That's kind of wild, actually, like that many spots to do that. And Anthony Richardson's going one spot behind him. Could you get Anthony Richardson? Even if he's no good, whatever. Like, see what happens.
Yeah.
I think there would be a couple. I think there would be a couple good moves that, like, I would be willing just to gamble on a couple guys around him and kind of use them as that, pot sweetener.
Yeah.
Who do you have as your third equivalent to power up sell, Mus?
I think I'm going to sell the hype on Trey Tucker. I think I'm going to try to get a little bit more than a third, but definitely, like 8 catches, that is actually a green flag for me, seeing a lot of targets, but definitely a lot of big plays there. I think one was 60 yards. Another one was another big one, and 3 touchdowns isn't sustainable. So, in a bunch of drafts, I drafted him in. I know I got him in the 5th and the 4th. So, like I said, I'm going to try to get more than a third, but, so probably this is probably a bad one because I am going to try to get more than a third, but he was a guy that I think falls into that third-ish territory right now.
Yeah, he's a tough one because they kind of need that guy to go down the field. And I agree. Like, my thing is, I'm like you. Do you just take a third for him? Because you look, his snap share has been 90+ every week.
Oh wow!
And then I look at it like, he is that down the field guy, but they kind of need that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'll ever have the 8 for 145 and 3, so maybe people will chase that. At the same time, is he a roster clogger too? Like, if you want a third and re-roll, like, I'm fine with that. I'm like you. Maybe you can get a little bit more though. Maybe you can get.
That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, obviously, it's just hard to shove Trey Tucker into a lineup and feel comfortable with it as of right now. I mean, like I said, this could come back and bite me, but if it does, it does. But like, unless you're in best ball, like, are you?
Yeah.
Are you really shoving Trey Tucker into a wide receiver spot or even a flex spot and being like, like,
not at all.
Like, I just don't think he's a league winner by any means. So,
yeah,
like I said, if you're in best ball, yeah, absolutely, just
perfect best ball guy.
Yeah, perfect best ball guy. But Like I said, I'm trying to get a little bit more than a third, but when I was trying to make this list, it was like hard to try to find a guy that was like
I
third worthy.
I know, and I think that's just a good name overall, just to touch on, right? Like,
Yeah,
somebody that like your average player might be like, oh yeah, and see them points. But I mean, hey, maybe even use them. I'm kind of curious to see where he is on keep trade cut. Like, I don't know if there's just somebody else you feel better about. Like, try to move him, even for a rookie that hasn't really taken off. Okay, he's wide receiver 73 on here, but I'm looking at this like Kyle Williams a couple spots. I know he hasn't done nothing, like Jalen Coker. I mean, maybe you could take somebody like that. Trey Harris had some hype. Maybe, could you use him to get like a Godwin? If Trey
yeah.
Tucker keeps coming off, and
Yeah, I like that. It does. I just typed them in the trade browser. Within the last week, there is 3 trades for a third for him. So I guess he is getting a third. I'd kind of like a little bit more than that. Like I said, there's
Yeah.
Trey Tucker and a third for Troy Franklin. I don't. Trey Tucker and Keenan Allen for Tony Pollard.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like that.
I like that deal, but yeah, so maybe Trey Tucker and a third for Jake Browning. I don't like that deal.
No,
Unless you really needed a quarterback, I guess.
right.
But
That'd be about the only way.
yeah, but I'm just gonna try to get more than a third, but I'm gonna sell this hype.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm selling the hype too, and you're just really happy in best ball. So my sell for my second or equivalent to is a guy we mentioned earlier, Muss. I think you're going to be on the other side of this. Is Mike Evans. So 32 years old, dealing with the hamstring injury. Emeka's rose up, and Chris Godwin coming back. I just think I'm ready to move on, especially with the soft tissue hamstring injury with a guy who's 32 years old. This could be the last little bit of value, I feel like, for Mike Evans. And it totally could bite me in the ass, and I kind of hope it does, because I'd love to see him get another 1,000-yard season, have 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and go to the Hall of Fame. But I think it's going to be tough sledding for Mike Evans. I think he's still talented, just soft tissue, dude. It just sticks around, I feel like. And then you're looking at 33.
Yeah, and like I know I said this on the last show or the one before that. I don't know if it was the football guys or what podcast, but somebody said that a lot of Tampa Bay beat reporters saying like Mike Evans said that this could be it.
Yeah, I heard that too. And I think I heard it from you. So wherever you heard it from.
Yeah, so it definitely, like, I mean, if you can get a second run, I don't mind that. Like I said, I do think that when he comes back, they will try to do everything they can to get him that 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
But if you get a second and, let's say like this year, you turn it into a Cam Skattebo and Mike Evans rides off into the sunset and you got a Cam Skattebo out of the deal and he still hit his 1,000 yards. I mean, are you that upset?
Right.
So
and kind of here's my thing. He's gone wide receiver 40 on KTC, which seems kind of low, but Tyreek Hill's wide receiver 43, Deebo Samuel 46. I'd rather go them routes. I would rather just gamble on a younger guy like that feels dirty, but Josh Downs.
Yeah.
Like Michael Pittman's one spot ahead of him. What do I gotta give to get that one spot? Get the Michael Pittman. I think that's just where I'm personally kind of at with him.
Yeah.
But he definitely could be productive, because I think even the short amount of time we did see, how he did. But let's go ahead. Let's go to your sell first.
The second round, this is another guy that I think I'd try to get, maybe a little bit more on, but it's going to be Keon Coleman. I mean, this is a guy that we never really did like coming out, his film and whatnot, but this Bills wide receiver room looks like it's going to be a lot like the Packers wide receiver room. And it's going to be like, it's a Shakira week. It's a Coleman week. It's in week one, it seemed like it was going to be Coleman and everybody was on the Coleman hype train and it's starting to get some steam. And then he has 2 dud performances, and
Right.
I just don't want any part of this Bills wide receiver room right now. And that's bad to say because I really like Shakur.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even seem like he's, getting a lot of targets right now. And I think a lot of it's like Kincaid's kind of a little bit coming on a little bit.
Yeah.
Kincaid's getting some steam. Obviously, James Cook's getting a lot of the work, but yeah, like I said, if you drafted Coleman, you drafted him in the second, so getting a second for him is kind of tough.
I think I said first. Yeah, I meant second. My bad. I meant second, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough to sell him for a second. I'd try to get a little bit more, but you're not. I don't think getting a first for Keon Coleman, so that's why I put him in this tier.
And I think and how I want to do this segment, and I think it's basically you can get a second, but if you want to use him to tier up or tier down, I think that's fine too.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying or equivalent to, like,
right.
Okay, we know we can get a second, but okay, if you want to get a second and a third, or you want to give your value to him as a second and you want to tier up to a different player, I mean, I think that's, I agree with that too. And yeah, he's going as wide receiver 33 actually. So probably, yeah, like you said, you can get a little plus. So guys behind him like Cortland Sutton, Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
Couple guys ahead of him, Jalen Waddle. Okay, give up a third, get Jalen Waddle or something like that.
I agree.
We'll go ahead. We'll go into my last power up sell, and for a first. And I think a guy we mentioned earlier, and you might not want to do it now because it's like, can you get a first? But I did look into Trade Bros to see you can. But Chase Brown. It's just yards per carry, the situation, and it's just so replaceable. So, like, for me, I think there's still people that are kind of believing in this whole backfield. Like, okay, he can still get it going. I think I'm just ready to hopefully he hits and you can get a little bit more. If I can get a first, though, I will cash out.
Yeah. I don't blame you because I just think till Burrow gets back, I think it's going to be a lot of this. He might peak a week or or something like that, but I think it's going to be a lot of this, less than 10 points. Kind of weeks coming up because defenses aren't really scared of Jake Browning taking them deep. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. And again, just if you can't get a first and you want to hold a little bit, and he has that spike game where he gets a couple touchdowns, and I'm ready to move on. Like I'm just. Bags are packed, man. They're at the door and they're waiting. Like, let's get it. Let's get the deal done, and take that first or use him to tier up or tier down. I mean, to that Cam Scatterboo or whatever.
Yep, I agree.
So, Muscles, who do you have for your power up sell for a first?
I'm gonna have Jordan Addison. I just looked on the trade browser. There was 2. One was a 2028 first. I don't know if I want to go that far out. And then another one was Addison in a third for a first, 26 first. And I think I would do that. But listen, this guy's coming back this week. And, so he's getting some of that hype like, oh, Addison's coming back. I was in a huge fan even last year with Darnold. I mean, he was really a best ball guy. He would have his boom weeks, but he has a lot of dud weeks. So even from the get-go, he's hard in a lineup week to put in. He's either going to win you a week or he's going to, put up 5 points and, but he was a perfect flex guy. Like if you have 2 stud receivers and can put them in the flex.
Yeah. Yeah, wide receiver 3,
wide receiver 3, like flex, like that's perfect. But if you're relying on them to win you games, you're going to be disappointed. And this quarterback situation for the Vikings right now just isn't the best.
Yeah,
even with JJ coming back, you're going to have Jefferson, you're going to have Hawkinson, and Addison's going to be your third guy. So I think if you can get a first, I think I'm cashing out on Addison right now.
I love Jordan Addison as a player. I loved him at Pitt. And he went to the Vikings. It's just like, damn damn it,
Yeah.
damn it, damn
Yeah.
it. Because, but at the same time, I don't think he could operate as a team as a number one.
Right.
I think he's just the opposite side of the number one. He's just that, Z type player, move him around and, like you said, have big games. But just I think the ceiling is a bit capped. And if you can kind of re-roll and get into another class and, hey, maybe hit on another receiver, I'm there too. Like I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I mean, and I have him in. I have him in a fast draft league where I'm fourth in that rabbit. And I'm happy. Like I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
he's coming
Yeah,
back. this week.
you're killing it in that rabbit. What are you at? You're winning 2K?
Yeah, I'm in fourth right now, and I got
Yeah.
Addison and Likely coming back this week,
Ooh.
so it should
I like that.
be
No
coming
pun
up.
intended. I like
But
that, man. I'm doing all right in Scott Fish too. I am, damn, I think I'm like 42nd or something like that,
damn,
between 40 and 50, I think. So yeah, I'm definitely happy about that. So hopefully both of us can kind of keep the wheels turning. I'd love to bring
yeah,
home a Scott Fish championship, and you bring home a rabbit championship and bring
yeah,
home that grand prize. So before we get out of here, let's talk a couple trades. I did go into the Discord. We did get one on X I want to go over. So we'll just kind of bang out a couple of these trades and we'll close off the show. So
let's do it.
first one we have here, Justin Jefferson for Amari and Hampton. For me, this is pretty easy. I'm very high still on Justin Jefferson. So
Yeah,
I think we're definitely in agreement there. Another one we have here, Derrick Henry in a third or Quinshon Judkins in a second. Muscles, where are you at with this one?
ooh, definitely would be team dependent on that one because I mean one side you're pretty much all in. Like if you don't, then the other side Judkins.
So
This might
Henry in a third, Judkins in a
This
second.
might be recent bias, but I mean, me and my young guys, I might go Judkins.
Oh yeah, I'm there. That one's
Yeah.
that one's actually for me personally is kind of I'm very high on Quinshon Judkins. Like I'm looking where Quinshon Judkins, like to me, I feel like he's like almost top 8 for me.
Okay.
Just think about it. Dude just got signed. He was the last guy to get signed, had the legal troubles, comes in and a lot of these guys, like I love Genty, I love Hampton, struggle. Quinshon Judkins comes in, no practice, no nothing, and puts up the numbers that he's doing against the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
Like he's running back 10 on here. That's one spot behind James Cook. I mean, I wish I had more James Cook, but if I want the younger guy, I'm fine with taking Judkins there. I'm like him and Amari and Hampton are neck and neck for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm very. I would love to try to go out and get. I wish I would have bought more Quinshon Judkins. Like, whenever we had to buy low and there was all that controversy. You want to buy a player, like whatever, but we kind of had that discussion. But we have this one here: Chase Brown or Jalen Waddle.
I think I'm still on the Chase Brown.
I think I am too, just because I think you're gonna get more return.
Yeah.
So we just talked about, I'd like to take a first for Chase Brown, and I've seen it done on trade browsers. I haven't seen that done for Jalen Waddle, so I just think Chase Brown's worth more. But both probably descending players, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We have another one here: Christian McCaffrey or DeAndre Swift and Chuba Hubbard.
Christian McCaffrey. I mean, if your team has a running back too, and you can afford to trade 2 running backs for one, I definitely take the Christian McCaffrey side.
Yeah,
But you got to make sure your team can, because obviously you're giving up 2 starting running backs.
Right.
If your team has the depth to fill that.
Right. Yeah, I'm same there. Yeah, I'm McCaffrey. I feel like
if you're starting McCaffrey and Kenneth Gainwell, then this trade isn't.
Yeah.
This trade isn't for you.
It's just kind of that dependent. I definitely agree with that. And then we have another one here. So it's the 12-team Superflex, half PPR, 1 point per tight end reception, 4 point for touchdown, start 10. We have Jackson Dart or a 27-second and a 28 first.
Jackson Dart or 28 second.
And this is a little bit score like 4 point per passing touchdown, not 6, which still super flex.
Yeah.
This
one's close. Because I don't really want to wait till 2028, but
I know that's kind of where I was at because if Jackson Dart takes off, but if he sucks, then it could be peak value.
I know.
I don't think he's necessarily gonna completely just suck. I think he will maybe a little bit for a couple weeks, but
yeah,
I think I'll gamble on Jackson Dart. I think give me time. I think I can get that 28 first back.
Yeah.
If I want it
too. Yeah. Yep, I think so too. I mean, if you're a complete rebuilder and you want to you drafted Jackson Dart in a second, and you want to, I guess, gain a first round pick and get a second back, I can't blame you, but
right.
Yeah, I'm going to gamble on Jackson Dart.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I think that's all the trades that we have right now. So, anybody wants, come into the Discord, you want your trade talked about, hit us up on X. We'll put the Discord link in the description. You can get on there. Teixeira, thanks for tuning in, man. He does an awesome job with our Discord, always interacting, trying to get conversations going, and just trying to keep it maintained and everything. So we all, Muscles and I both, we really appreciate that out of you. And if you guys like and enjoy the content, please go over, subscribe to YouTube, 5-star, follow us on TikTok, give us a follow, hit the thumbs up on any podcasting platforms. We appreciate 5 stars. We appreciate it all, man. We just appreciate you tuning in, coming in here and asking questions and keeping conversations going. But I think that's it for this episode. We went a little bit longer, but a lot to talk about, a lot to dissect here. This is a crucial part where you got to tell, and I think we're going to talk about this a little more next week. And maybe this will be, you can submit some rosters or something and see if you need to rebuild, if you need to compete, maybe some moves that you can make. And you got to kind of define what direction you're going, because if you're just in the middle, you're just going to pay your league dues. You might as well just throw that money right in the trash.
Yeah.
Right?
And like I was telling you this week too, you have to look at your points scored too. I know it sounds dumb, but you have to. I'm 3-0 in a league and I'm 11th in points scored. I'm
0-3 in a league and I'm 4th in the points and scored.
Exactly.
So I know my team's good. I just can't get it together.
Yeah.
If it's not starting the right guy, if it's one guy going off and another team facing a high scorer. So yeah, I agree with that. And that's how I like to really get creative and look at teams and say, oh man, they have a lot of risk. If I get their pick in 27, it might be a top 3 pick, top 5 pick.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to do that. Take advantage of these guys that are putting up big points as well that you just don't really believe in. Like we do this show, we scout these rookies, and we have to be honest with ourselves, but we also can't just throw away all the hard work that we did in the off season 4 weeks into the NFL season either, right?
Right.
You gotta make sure that there's a fine line there. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that next show, and we wish everybody good luck in your matchups and see what happens in this Thursday night game. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode of the Fantasy Football Power Hour.
See ya.
Yo, welcome to the Power Hour.